boats. So you have opportunities everywhere. And of course, Bitcoin is the opportunity for large sums of capital, which is more safe, that you don't want to take a bigger risk. Yes, there is risk in with the volatility, right? Because most people, they see their wealth go down even $2. They're like, oh my God, I'm poor. so, if depends on where you are in your risk tolerance, right, is where you should be in the crypto. And most of the time, listen, you've seen the memes, right? A stock market goes down 2%. God. And the crypto bros, like, I'm down 50%. Am I? What the hell? And if you could handle that kind of volatility, then yeah, crypto's for you.
Yeah, you make some great insights about that. Obviously, the research part of it, the dipping your toe in the water with small sums of money, that sort of thing, and then be prepared for sometimes a very rocky road with meme coins. Now we're going to take a short break and come back. We have more great content on air and online at thecryptoradio.com. More news, interviews, explainers, and great guests are on their way. Keep listening to us here and check out our website.
Did you enjoy that interview? Well, there's plenty more where that came from. Breaking news, insights, and a whole load of fun and entertainment along the way. Whether you're a whale hodling to the moon, a bag holder waiting for your comeback, or just a no-coiner like me trying to keep up with the jargon, the Crypto Radio has something for you. We've got interviews, deep dives, and everything you need to stay ahead in the crypto and blockchain space. So don't be afraid to dive in. If I can do it, so can you. So stay tuned and check us out at thecryptoradio.com. and follow us on social media for updates, laughs, and everything crypto. See you there.
Welcome back to the Crypto Radio. And going back to Bitcoin, I guess people have asked you this before, but what did you see in it all those years ago? Or was there a little bit of luck? You thought, I'll give this a shot, it sounds interesting. Or you really were thinking about the potential of this as, fiat replacement?
Well, I've been doing videos since 2008. I only started in 2008, at the end of 2008, because after I learned how our whole financial system was a fraud, and I was asking everybody, I was asking my brothers, I was asking my dad, I asked everybody, and nobody really knew that, banks just create money out of nothing and lend it to you. They lend it to governments, they lend it to corporations. And the most evil thing about lending it to governments is that they point a gun at you and say, give me the tax money so I can give this banker the interest. Whoops. Didn't you just make me a slave to somebody who just printed the money for free? Yeah. So, yeah, that's how our system is. And we've redesigned slavery, right? So that, the people who know how to set up a bank or have enough money to set up a bank, they get to enslave the whole population for free. So yeah, that's our system, right? And corporations can do the same thing. That Michael Saylor gets it at zero, right? So you could say, well, he goes out in the markets and he asks, he doesn't go to banks, he goes out in the market. So he sells a convertible note. Well, what do you think they got the money from? They printed, the people who gave it to him printed that money. Most likely printed it. And how do I know they printed it? Well, where do most people store their wealth? They store it like, oh yeah, I'm going to store dollars. I'm going to put this under my mattress or in my bank. No, they don't. Right? The wealthy people, they store it in assets that they can leverage to get cash to buy other stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, did you just hold up a whole stack of fresh $100 bills just then?
No. This is play money. You can see.
Yeah, I was thinking super crypto bro, but yeah, I knew you probably weren't doing that. So how do you feel about the whole institutionalization? Obviously, we're seeing these strategic reserves. We're seeing people like Michael Saylor, and the sort of the retail investor now is sort of seeing a shift as it's being controlled. What's your sort of take on how Bitcoin has shifted from the libertarian sort of standpoint to where we are now, or where we're headed now, I guess?
Well, I think we're headed to realization, the waking up of society that, everybody feels that their system is unfair, but they don't understand how it's unfair. And it's a waking up of that. And then once we do use good money, whenever we do use good money, what happens is society improves greatly. Whenever we use bad money, society degrades. And it's the end result of fiat money. Prices continue to go higher and you start to lose your wealth. And this is what's happening in the United States, and people start to change their behaviors in order to make themselves stand out so they can get more wealth and more opportunities and so forth. And so most of this nonsense is just for somebody to stand out in the crowd. I don't know if you saw Gorlock the Destroyer, but I don't know what it is. Everybody's talked about that person because of the nonsense that's going on there. And so that's why people are doing it, right? And that's probably getting that person money. So there it is, right? It is all a scam because there's not enough. There's plenty of money, but the value of that money has dropped so significantly that people are not getting enough to survive in their daily work or job, right? So that's where it is. And so in the future, when we use Bitcoin as money, all that's going to change. We'll have a huge renaissance, and then we'll get back to logic.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Do you use Bitcoin to pay for goods and services, or you're just storing it and keeping it, or do you dip into it every now and again?
I was not dipping in a sense. I do get paid in Bitcoin myself, so I pay out some Bitcoin as well. So I don't know, what does that count as, right? So,
yeah, you're using it as currency, right? Using it as
exactly, yeah,
a form of payment there. And so as you've
exactly.
grown your wealth and as you've grown your knowledge, you're doing a lot more education and giving back to the community? Is that fair to say?
Exactly, and that's what I like to do. I mean, whenever somebody asks me about Bitcoin, they want to know how it works and why it works and why they should buy it. I get all excited, and I want to teach them. I want to educate them. So yeah, I want to continue that process forever.
But what would you, obviously there's a lot to delve into, but what is the big takeaway there when it comes to crypto and investing there, that you'd really say, look, whatever you do this one thing? When you talk to people and they come up to you and they say, well, Da Vinci, I want to be like you, I want to make all this money. What's your big, look, hold on, this is what I say?
Well, a long time ago, I was trying to save money, save dollars for my retirement, and I couldn't figure out how much I needed. Why? Because I didn't know what the value of the money that I would have would be. So if I said, okay, well, I could save to get $2 million, but I don't know what it will buy me, right? $2 million here won't buy you a house, right, in Dubai, right? So that's an example of what I don't know what it will buy. So I was a little concerned about that because it didn't make any sense. And I realized that you have to just that saving in our current financial system, you had to go and invest it somewhere, and that required risk, and that risk could end up turning against you. Well, now you have an asset that doesn't require risk, and you can say, well, it goes down by 50 or 60%. Yeah, but overall, it's going to end up a lot higher. That's the whole point. That's why Michael Saylor and I, we're not saving for tomorrow, which is your problem. That's why you see the 60% drop. We're saving for a long-term future. And when you do that, the 60% drop over 4 years is ignored. So that's what I suggest you do, is you save. And when you save, it doesn't matter what emergency happens, don't spend it.
No, discipline, financial discipline, which we know is easier said than done, but you really do need to have that long-term strategy and think that far ahead, especially in some of the richest countries where the cost of living is so high. Now, Bitcoin, obviously, as you well know, has a life cycle. And what about meme coins? Where do you think we are in their cycle now? Because obviously there's a huge amount of interest in meme coins, from Dogecoin to the thousands that are printed every day. Do you think there's a cycle there that we might see some sort of significant change in the meme coin sort of industry sector?
Yeah, I think the meme coin sector will explode higher and be the big thing for 2025. But then, once it fizzles away, right, just like the NFTs, they'll be gone probably for another 16 years, because the by the time the next generation comes along, it's like that's all forgotten, and then the next generation picks it up and goes, "Oh, I like that," and doesn't feel burned by it, and then that will bring in new blood. So that's basically how things work, right? Or people's memories, right, really fade over time. They forget what happens, and 16 years is a sufficient amount of time for everybody to forget about the meme coin failure, and then restart it all over again. So that's probably where it's going to happen. I don't see meme coins doing well in the following cycle, but there will be some meme coins such as Dogecoin, Shiba, that will and maybe even Pepe will stick around in the coming years, and will have different kinds of success.
Yeah. Oh, so we've got another year. They might start to rise more, and then after that, we
Mhm.
might see some bigger failures, and only the big ones that have some sort of utility, like the Doges and the Pepes, will stick around. And a lot of these other silly, full-on memes may well just disappear, and people will get burnt, and then they'll, like you said, their memories will, sort of after 16 years fade away, and we might see another cycle. So we maybe only got another year left of the meme coin craze. Is that what
Hmm.
we?
Exactly. That's what I think.
Yeah. But you launched, obviously, my colleague here, she works in an animal shelter, so she loves dogs and cats. So when she saw Waffle, she kind of fell in love with Waffle, and I don't know if Waffle's there or wants to make a guest appearance.
Yeah, I don't have my cat here. This is my studio. I'm not at my house, right? But I do have pillow of Waffles here.
Yeah, I see that.
My cat. This is when she was a lot younger. She's a little older now,
Yeah.
and yeah, I didn't make this Waffles token. Actually, somebody else did, and I began to support the Waffles token, and yeah, it's just a meme coin, right? But they are making it more than just a meme coin. They're providing lots of utility for the meme coin, and yeah, we will. I think as we grow in market cap, that's when they open up new utilities um, for Waffles coins. So it's just about market cap growth. It's not about the actual timing. We're not going to build stuff unless our market caps goes higher. So we'll focus only on marketing and getting the market cap up, and then once we get there, then we start to build.
Yeah, yeah. Now obviously you've got a strong reputation, as one of those sort of early Bitcoin people. When it comes to meme coins, how do you decide what meme coins to get involved with? Because obviously you've got to protect yourself there as well, and you're looking to get involved in worthwhile projects. So sort of how do you actually decide? Because you must be invited or must be offered lots of these opportunities.
Yes, I mean there's several ways I decide. Of course, there's the degen way I decide, right? Because you know what, just it is honestly, if you do it the degen way, it's lots of fun. Trust me. Right? We sat around one time at dinner, a whole bunch of people, and just goes, "Oh, let's just choose a meme coin to buy and see what happens." And oh, look at this, Peppa Peep. I like that one. Obviously, it went to zero, but we just bought it just to see what happens, and we just bought small amounts, and you could do that just for fun. And who knows, something. I bought a few of them that actually just happened to continue going higher, but that was very very few. And you could do it that way, but if you want to do it more, if you want to do more of an analysis, it requires taking a look at how many people are whales, right? How much each person has. You have to go through and take a look at an analysis. Maybe you could do some research and find out, okay, well, maybe the dev has a whole bunch hidden. He's got a bunch of them over multiple wallets. They're really easy to detect. Then you have you take a look at community. You take a look at whether or not the meme has staying power. I mean, it's humorous or so forth, and and it has someone that can back it up, or some reason for people to use it in the future. and that's how you would look for it. And then, but most of the time you have to just go degen, full degen, because you just never know what's going to go. You never know. And when and if you do go full degen, just make sure you understand you have a high probability of it going to zero. And if you accept that, there's a chance you can do very well. But if you can accept that, then don't go do meme coins at all. Just forget it, right? Go buy Solana, right? But if you do accept it, I would suggest if you buy something, sell half when it doubles, and then uh, let it rest ride, or you take profits again when it doubles again, and then let that rest ride. So it's up to you how you want to do it, and yeah, that's one way to deal with it. But the other way, right, more an analytical way, right? There's a lot of things in that I didn't mention, like volume, whether or not there's lots of fake volume. If you see like 30 million volume, right, and it's like a 10 million market cap, 10 to 20 million market cap, there's something wrong. If you see, very little volume and then it's rising like crazy, there's something wrong. So these are things that you can look for, right? For when it's wrong. It's really easy for me because I've been in the space. I can't think of everything that I look at, but yeah, there's a lot of things there.
Yeah, and the team, is it important to know the team for them to reveal themselves or be revealed, do you think, to be doxed? Or
Yeah, I think the team, if you're going to stick to the meme coin and believe in it, you have to know the team. You have to make sure the team is fully doxed, right? Then you could stick with it, maybe, buy and hold it. But if you don't know the team, then I would suggest you exit whenever there's any profit every single time. So that would be my best advice.
yeah, brilliant. I've got one more question, which is looking at the big picture. So for you, where's the next big thing for you? It doesn't have to be crypto, it doesn't have to be blockchain, it could be AI, it could be equities, it could be something else. But where do you see the next big opportunity where you think people might want to start having a good look at and start researching?
Well, as the money dies, right? We've seen through history what happens, right? Governments try to distract the public, right? That's the playbook, right? Because if because they know the end result of that is their death, right? Um, so the best way to do that is in this current society is through games, and now we have crypto games which can earn you profit. So eventually the government and corporations will jump on this bandwagon, push you into crypto games as to give you something to do. So you don't go right in the streets. And so I think crypto games are going to be the next big thing.
Interesting. So the Web3 games where you earn crypto, you pay crypto and you earn crypto. You think that's going to be a big, and we're doing a lot in that space, especially here in this region as well, right? There's a lot of companies sort of launching. So that's where I think we might see a lot of, and government, not lobbying, but definitely government support for people doing that to keep them out of trouble. Do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Basically to prevent them from rioting and going against the government, right? So the end result, we've already seen the end result of this currency, right? And the governments are afraid of that end results, and so they'll do whatever they can to mitigate that, and that's what they've done throughout history.
Yeah. Well, Da Vinci, will we see you at Bitcoin Mina?
Yes, definitely. I'll see you at Bitcoin Mina, and if you put in my code Da Vinci, you can get the discount.
Excellent. We're hoping to have a chat with you and Mr. Trump at the same time. Spoke big names in the industry. So yeah, thank you very much for this interview. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and yeah, we'll see you in a week or so.
Perfect. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That was Da Vinci Jeremy, an early Bitcoin adopter, and let's just say a very wealthy man as a result of spotting the potential of crypto. This is the Crypto Radio. Thanks for listening.
You're listening to the Crypto Radio. Learn more at thecryptoradio.com, where you can listen live for news, education, and entertainment. You can also join our community on X at the Crypto Radio X.
Did you enjoy that interview? Well, there's plenty more where that came from. Breaking news, insights, and a whole lot of fun and entertainment along the way. Whether you're a whale hodling to the moon, a bag holder waiting for your comeback, or just a no-coiner like me trying to keep up with the jargon, the Crypto Radio has something for you. We've got interviews, deep dives, and everything you need to stay ahead in the crypto and blockchain space. Don't be afraid to dive in. If I can do it, so can you. So stay tuned and check us out at thecryptoradio.com and follow us on social media for updates, laughs, and everything crypto. See you there.
The Crypto Radio. Tune in and feel the glow. Digital coins we grow. All you need to know.
You're tuned in to the Crypto Radio, and this is the first episode for our Crypto Careers segment, where we showcase what it's like to be working in the crypto industry from the day-to-day operations. And I'm joined in by my good friend Ali, who's been working in the space for the last couple of years. So, how are you, Ali?
I am doing lovely. The markets are up. My portfolio is up at an all-time high. It's always a good day when it's green. What about you?
I guess I could give the same answer. So for our listeners who are new to crypto, what exactly do you do for work currently?
So in short, you can think of it as a mixture between sales and relationship management.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is I go to your favorite crypto influencer and I make a partnership between him and our exchange.
Right.
In short, that's basically it. It's just partnerships.
Partnerships. And what does, like, how do they define this role formally?
How do you mean? Like, what's my
Official job
it's,
title.
So, I mean, there's more than one word for it, but you can say business developer manager.
Mm-hmm.
BD.
BD.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because BD is always heard in crypto as an industry, but people yet don't understand it because it's just like, are they doing sales? Are they doing partnerships? But essentially, your day-to-day operations, you do a lot of things. Like, you wear many hats.
Yeah, the term BD is quite broad because the work itself is quite broad.
Mm-hmm.
It can mean a lot of things, you know what I mean? So I'll give an example. So there is two different kinds of BDs. Just like these are minimum two. There's quite a bit more, but two of them could be that you help with listings on an exchange. So let's say you have someone who has a new token and they want to put it on the exchange.
Mm-hmm.
They come to a listings BD for that.
Right.
Or let's say if you are a futures trader, or which is the closest thing to Forex, you would want to have a partnership for them to make some money out of the trading fees, for example, right? For that, you need a futures BD. It's just two different examples. There's more. There's also institutional. There is
institutional BD. There KOL BDs, as you said.
There is some that's just basically just for marketing. Like there's no real target of it, and they're just there
like something as broad.
just general partnerships and all kinds. And for those, they don't really have many commissions.
And I saw that you used to work in traditional finance at a regular bank. So what gauged your interest in crypto or in the crypto industry?
Roughly 2 years ago, I had a family friend come to visit Dubai. My mom actually asked me to go meet up with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, oh, he's into crypto. Maybe you guys were going to have some things in common. I was like, sure, why not?
Did you even know what crypto was at that time?
Oh, I did. I had very, very, very minimal experiences with crypto, though. I had $50 in Doge that like crashed. That crashed back, and I don't know, God knows how many years ago. And it pushed me away from crypto. I had some experience in mining as well at the time.
Mm.
But this was nothing compared to what happened in the coming months, right? So I met with this family friend. We went to the first crypto event, which was, what was it? Blockchain Future? Something. It was in Festival Arena City.
Blockchain Life?
No, it wasn't Blockchain Life.
Yeah.
It was Crypto Expo Dubai. Sorry,
Crypto Expo.
Dubai.
Okay.
That was the first, let's say, big event that I went to. And I mean, the whole experience was a bit crazy because like I saw everyone and they were just like very, very active, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And it didn't feel like they were all depressed or whatever. And I mean, the same things that you see in
like the energy was just very vibrant.
It was a very different energy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was nothing like what I've seen in like traditional banking or in traditional jobs, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell in love with it basically. And I just kept going again and again. I kept going to every event I could. And then by the end of it, I kind of got sucked in and I can't leave even if I want to now.
What was your first job prior to finding your role as a BD?
You mean in crypto?
Yeah.
I didn't have one. I don't really have a job, but I did do some business. Like what I did before doing BD work was a few things. One of them, well, the first thing that I did was I was selling mining machines.
Mm-hmm.
You know the ASIC machines, right?
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, it's I mean, how to explain this? This is quite complex.
It's a computer.
No, I mean
it's a very highly specialized computer.
It's a highly specialized computer that makes you money. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you turn it on, you pay the electric difference, the electric rate difference, and you keep the profits as a change. It sounds like it's black magic or some money laundering stuff. It's not. It's not. No, don't worry
Well,
about
yeah,
it.
but mining is very nuanced, and there is some like misconceptions about it especially when it's taken like out of context. But it's interesting. Like, did you mine by yourself or you sold the machines?
At first, I was mining on my own using GPUs, but when I got into crypto full time, I bought machines, ASIC machines specifically, and I just sold them in Dubai. I didn't really mine them at all. But my clients, they kept coming back to me asking me for a place to store their miners, to like operate them, because they were very loud and they were a bit complex to operate. And then I started, mining on my client's behalf, basically. But the main profit was coming through the actual sale. I was making a profit of $1,400 per machine.
Wow.
It was nice. Yeah, it was nice when it lasted. It's quite nice.
And with all of these like various experiences, like what's your educational background on it? Did you need any special certificate?
No, nothing really. I just, when you get addicted into an industry, you just kind of learn everything you want to learn. It's hard not to just stay curious is all I have to say. That's all really.
And why would you label it as addicted to the industry? That's a pretty unique take.
I don't know. It's like once you come to this side of the table, you just can't really go back. You know what I mean? It's you get a different perspective and everything. It's like the first time seeing the factories where they make the Nike and Nike shoes, right? Once you see how they really do it from the background, you don't really want to pay full price for it anymore. It's a thing. It's just like it's a shift in perspective that changes your ideology and everything, really.
How does an average day look like for Ali as a BD?
Well, how would that look? Well, I go to the gym and I also study Chinese at the same time, so it's kind of difficult, like, struggle everything all at once.
Yeah.
How about this? It's better for me to just tell you the tasks that I get done throughout the day instead of me telling you how they go, right? So there's a few things. Well, obviously, I have to go to the gym. That's 1 hour. I have to go 1 hour of studying Chinese. And then for the BD work specifically, you have to do a few, mainly you do reach outs. You do a lot of reach outs. It's like one-on-one reach outs either. And you can't even do advertising because people won't listen to you. So the way it works is, let's say you go on Twitter or Instagram or whatever it might be, and you message 50 to 100 people, right? And then out of those, let's say 100 people, maybe 5 of them will respond. Maybe, if you're lucky.
It's a numbers game.
5 or 10, right? And out of those 5 or 10 will respond, maybe 1 or 1 or 0 of them would actually agree to something to even continue the conversation. And then when that goes, you go through weeks of efforts trying to get them, days or weeks, depending, of trying to get them convinced that you're not here to scam them. and then once they understand that, and then, once they understand, they either start working with you or they decline because they have a better offer somewhere else. But it's mainly outreach and management. By management, I mean, let's say you're my partner, right? Let's say, let's say you're an influencer and you're my partner, we're working together. You want to have an event that brings more users to your, referral, right? So the way like futures trading BDs make money, and the same way that the influencers make money for us actually, is they make money out of the trading fees. So let's say you're an influencer and you have a volume of 100 million per month. Cool. Actually, let me run this up real quick. So if you have 100 million per month and you're trading on, let's say, 0.06% taker fees, right? You're looking at a or a fee generation of 60,000. Cool. So what I would tell you is, and by volume, I don't mean yours. I mean just your users. Just your communities, let's say.
But what's how does trading volumes get calculated? What do people do in futures trading? Like, what's that aspect of the business?
How do you mean? Elaborate.
What does futures trading mean?
So there's a difference between spot trading and futures trading, right? So spot would be when you actually buy the asset, you hold it and you wait, and that's it, right? You make money, the profit. The asset goes up, you sell, you make money, right? It's like, let's say you have 5 rocks. I take a rock from you at the current price of 1 dirham. I hold it for a few weeks. It goes to 1.5 dirham. I sell it back to you for 1.5 dirham. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Now, futures, instead of buying the actual asset, you're buying a contract. Think of it this way. Imagine you have a table and you're gambling on that table, right? And you're saying like, I will put $100 today, that the market will go up throughout the next, God knows how long, whatever, right? You're buying a contract that says the market will go up.
Yeah.
So the market goes up, you can sell that contract back for a profit. Or you can do the opposite. You can gamble and say, I put $100 today, the market will go down. So now what happens is, let's say the market does go down, you can sell that same contract for a profit as well, because you're buying a short contract instead of a long contract. So the idea is, you're not actually buying it. It's more like you're placing a bet. That's what future trading is. It's the same thing with Forex. It's an easy way of looking at it.
Now, is there anything fun about your job? Like, what's your favorite thing to do?
Yeah, you get to travel quite a bit because
nice.
you're meeting with the influencers and whatnot, right? And they're not really always in the same country. Your whole the whole position is just built on, building a strong relationship, right?
Relationship building.
Yeah,
essentially,
that's basically what it is, right? So let's say I'm traveling to meet with an influencer or whatever. You can consider it as work or as like a fun time out, depending on how you see it. You know what I mean?
As long as the deal is getting closed.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you get the work done, everything else is a bonus, right? So I guess that part's quite nice. And I'm not, geographically locked anywhere. I can go wherever I want. I can do whatever I want. So that's nice.
That's amazing. But what's challenging then? Like, what's anything that's negative that no one like talks about?
Well, it's not that. Okay, let's say this. I think the worst part of this is so they are judging the product or the exchange, the service on you, right? So you're selling them the exchange. This is what I say, it's sales. So you're selling the exchange to an influencer for them to work with you and for their users as well. Now, if the exchange is bad for whatever reason, let's say their services are bad, their connections are bad, their liquidity isn't thick enough, whatever it might be, you're the one who's getting you become the punching bag for it, basically, right? And any issue that happens, it falls on your head. It's your responsibility.
So aside from just doing sales, you can do support services as well.
Exactly. It's broad, right? Now let's say the product has some issues, and you speak to the product team. You tell them, hey, we need to change this. This is feedback from our influencers. They're like, okay, and then they don't respond to you for 2 months. So if you have a really weak product team in the company, it gets really rough to get any work done. And I think that's the most rough part about this work, because you're messaging hundreds of people at a time, and they're not responding to you. It gets quite rough for some people, and they can't handle it really.
Well, we've talked about the challenges. We talked about the good things. It's the industry is pretty fast-paced. Everything changes really quick. And this is things like, I'd say from an insider as well. I've been working in the industry for 4 years. There has been things that are being like commonplace amongst different companies. But you see, there's many people who wants to pivot their industries and work with work in our industry, for instance. So if someone has zero crypto experience but wants a job that is similar to yours, what would you recommend for them to do first?
So I would say just do what I did. When I first came into the industry, for the first 6 to 8 months, I didn't look for work. All I did was just learn about the industry, And I learned by meeting people. So, since I'm in Dubai, I'm blessed to be here, right? Alhamdulillah for everything. But, so since all the crypto events are here, I said, you know what, let me just hit every single event I could. Every single one. There wasn't this. So from the most beginner stuff to the most advanced things, right? By most advanced, the tickets that cost nothing for beginners, like beginner seminars in universities, by professor to the bigger events where the tickets cost, let's say $1,000 to $2,000 even, Yeah, some of these get really pricey, and, it's good to have friends in the industry because they can get you discounts or free tickets. It's always nice. But where was I? Yeah, so I'd say just meet as many people as you can and just ask as many questions as you can for the first 6 months. That's it. Just this is why I say stay curious. I think people lack a lot of curiosity in this world, and if they didn't, things would be quite different.
Well, this is my favorite thing about the industry is that despite there is a high barrier to knowledge and to our work, and there's a lot of technical complexities that we need to be familiar with. Lots of new tools, lots of resources. But from what I've seen from anyone in this space, whether they're professionals, billionaires, beginners, everyone's happy to teach the rest.
Of course.
No one really tells you, you don't know anything, what are you doing in this place? The meetups, the conferences, the summits, all of them are like an open place for collaborations, and everyone's willing to network, interact, and teach people. But there's also some slip-ups that a newcomer would do, right? If they're getting into the industry. Personally, I've done a few by perhaps working with the wrong crowd, but unwillingly. What's the biggest mistake you see newcomers make if they're getting into the industry?
I think it would be just expecting too much too fast. A lot of people think when you come into crypto, he's a crypto bro. One Lambo, one Lambo.
Was your Lambo? I saw it downstairs.
Yeah. I came with my 3 Lambos. I had my other friends just drive the other one just to show off.
Of course.
Yeah. So I know. I was saying, no. On a serious note, like they think, hey, I just bought $5 of Shiba Inu. If this goes to $1, I'm making $2.5 billion. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I'm still waiting for my billions.
The whole. This is like an argument that's going on currently, by the way, on crypto Twitter. It's like, is unit bias a thing? I think it is.
Unit bias is a major thing.
I think
and to those who are not listening, unit bias is essentially where you see a token or a crypto that seems cheap because it's there, it's sold in cents, and then you expect it to reach specific specific amount of dollar values.
It's like just because they see the let's say if let's treat it as a stock. They see each stock looking like 0.00000000009 or something.
Yeah, let's accumulate 1 million tokens.
Yeah, if they buy $1, they're getting however many, whatever amount
Millions,
of that.
billions.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could trillions worth.
And so for some reason they think I mean it's understandable, but I guess they think this has a real possibility of going to $1 just because it's like the magic number $1. It's a whole number.
Course.
But in reality, if that were to happen, you would have a market cap of the whole world's GDP or something, and it still wouldn't equate to it. Like even if it was a quadrillion-dollar company, that would still not reach $1.
But see, with all of these understanding, crypto, blockchain, Web3, it's a combination of different areas from traditional markets. If people are getting into the industries, do they have to be tech geniuses or finance geniuses to be able to work in crypto?
No, I don't think so. I think the thing about crypto is like the industry as a whole, they don't really look at your qualifications as much as they look for your skills. You know what I mean? I'm sure this is the same as it's true in like other exchanges, but I feel like it's a lot more prominent here in crypto. People want you for what you can provide. If you have good value in terms of, let's say you're a good salesman, who wouldn't want good salesman? You know what I mean? And if you think you can sell really well, you wouldn't even take a salary. You just do it with commission directly. You know what I mean? You would negotiate a bigger commission. You'd sell more than everyone else in the company. You'd make a whole lot more than everyone else. So
You'd be the superstar.
yeah. So I don't think it's about qualifications. I think it's more about skills and value, like value you can provide to the company or to the people who you're hoping to work for or work with, let's say.
And throughout your personal journey, what was like the biggest culture shock when you compare between like working a traditional job in a bank and then jumping to crypto all of a sudden?
I didn't really have much of a cultural shock, but more of a thing that I really liked, which was you feel like you're working in a small company. You know what I mean? Like even if the companies are bigger, you tend to feel like it's a startup, which means you get to see a whole lot more of the other sides of the company than you would usually. You know what I mean? Which means you can learn a lot more. That's exactly what you want. You want to learn. Like, the whole goal of everything you do every single day, no matter what industry you're in, is always to learn more. The more you learn, the more you can make out of it, whether that is financially or even just in terms of growth, really. So I think the fact that things feel smaller in the sense of things are in reach, I think that's it. I think that would be it. That, and also like office timings aren't really a thing. I mean, I love just being able to not go where I have to go. I mean, being able to go wherever I want to go, whenever I want to go. I feel like that's a big plus.
I would like the remote culture.
Yeah, exactly.
4 years here, you, as you said, stay curious. You learn a lot. You read the news. You check out the new things. But the deeper I dig, the more cool things I discover. And the coolest thing I discovered was just the crypto games. I have fun with them, not with the expectations to earn money, but it's because like we all grew up playing Candy Crush or Farmville and Warzone, Call of Duty, and all these games. For me, just playing these games, even early on as an early adopter, is just I find it pretty cool. Not just for the chances of earning money, they barely made me $40, $50. These games aren't supposed to like change your life, but they're fun, they're cool.
I think these games, the target audience is just not us,
No.
Like the money making aspect is more for the third world countries, You can think about it in Africa, you can think about it in Vietnam, wherever, like even the Asian countries, I think for those people, $50 is a big difference. That's a week salary. Even, like for example, in Iran, the same person who had my ex position at the job, me at the bank, would have a salary of $100, even less. I know because I asked. I was curious, but I think the whole money making aspect in these games is a lot more targeted towards the third world countries. If you're asking me what is the cool thing I found, I think it would be the infinite amounts of ways for projects to make scams. I think it's that, man. There's so many different ways these projects they get crafty at this point. They look for ways to look professional or to look legit, while the whole project is meaningless, and you sink your time, money, and effort into it just to gain nothing, and they just run away with the liquidity. By liquidity, we mean profits, but rugs, basically rugs. This is the amount of ways they manage to.
I don't find this cool, but it's unfortunate how common it is, and it kind of like shatters our industry's image in a sense, or gives us a specific like stereotype. My personal mission is to prove that crypto isn't a scam. Unfortunately, scams are around us. Where do you see trends and newer job opportunities in crypto right now? Like, what are the exchanges demanding? What are the DeFi projects demanding for new hiring trends, basically?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's anything new, really. I mean, I haven't noticed, at least. Maybe I haven't been looking at that side of the market for some time, but I think one way or one thing that would stay in demand, since this is a very growing industry, would be more, let's say, how do I say this? More niche specific positions. I'll give you an example, right? So there's always marketers, right? But then there is Dubai marketers, and then there is Spain marketers, and then there is American marketers. So what I'm trying to say,
they'll have like the different styles and
yeah.
different
So
approaches
every
or how
market is
they
different, right?
market things.
I don't think it's more about new positions. It's more about the same position, extra flavors. You know what I mean?
So for someone finding their niche or their specialty, basically.
I think the whole industry is constantly expanding very, very quickly, and so you just look for where you fit in and which side of the world, depending on where you're from, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely agree with like people having like a specific focus on like a locality, because for exchanges or any companies operating crypto while they're expanding, they want like a global growth. So always having like a local insight would be better to contribute to them. There's also like lots of traditional jobs as like a social media marketer, a graphic designer, production assistant, and I'm just specifying like some marketing jobs. Like in terms of technical jobs, people are also pivoting a lot, but technical jobs is like a whole new world that we'll keep on exploring. Perhaps I just like concluded with you giving like beginner tips for someone to start, 1-2 word advice.
I would say build up your portfolio as much as you can, as early as you can, because your gains compound, and you really start to notice it even a few years in this industry. So just build up your portfolio early. That's all I would say.
It's portfolio building. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ali, and for these wonderful insights.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. This has been great, and I have to say this mic is very, very crisp. I'm still impressed.
We're used to it. And you guys are listening to the Crypto Radio. To learn more about crypto careers, just make sure to just head back to our podcast section on our website.
Hi, did you like this show? There's so much more where that came from. Stay tuned for the latest in crypto news, expert insights, and exclusive interviews right here on the Crypto Radio. But that's not all. Check us out online on thecryptoradio.com for more in-depth content, and follow us on social media. Find us on the Crypto Radio on Instagram and the Crypto Radio X on Twitter.
The Crypto Radio's A to Z of crypto and blockchain terms. S for stablecoins. S is for stablecoins. A stablecoin is a cryptocurrency pegged to a stable asset, like fiat currency. They're also gold-backed cryptocurrencies. One example of a stablecoin is Tether, which is backed by the US dollar. As the name suggests, they tend to be more stable than other coins, as they are backed by real-world and less volatile assets. Stablecoins are easy to buy and are listed on most cryptocurrency exchanges, including Binance and Coinbase. For more information on stablecoins, visit thecryptoradio.com.
The Crypto Radio price update. Bitcoin price is $94,811, up by 0.22%. Ethereum price is $3,390.4, up by 1.11%. BNB price is $728.3, up by 4.87%. Solana price is $193.3, up by 3.46% based on the last 24 hours. Curious to know more? Check out thecryptoradio.com.
The Crypto Radio. Tune in and feel the glow. Digital coins we grow. All you need to know.
From Commando to CEO to Crypto Bro, Cyrus Rustam is an accomplished entrepreneur, coach, Bitcoiner, and speaker known for his powerful journey from an elite Royal Marines Commando to a multi-million-dollar CEO. He can now add Crypto Bro to this list, or rather, Bitcoin Bro. Cyrus, welcome to the Crypto Radio.
Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you in the office and in the studio talking to us about your crypto journey. Now, I've looked at your LinkedIn profile, I've looked at your social media, very impressive, from the Royal Marines Commando to CEO of a multi-million company, and now a crypto bro. How would you describe yourself? Investor, bro, expert? How would you define yourself in the crypto world?
I actually wouldn't use the word crypto. I would just say Bitcoin, because I really don't mess around too much with the whole space. I just was lucky enough to hear about Bitcoin about 4 years ago, and I now invest in Bitcoin.
Okay, so you're a Bitcoin, and use the parlance, you're a Bitcoin maxi.
I wouldn't say I was a Bitcoin maxi, but I am an advocate of Bitcoin, and I have 95% of my net worth in Bitcoin.
Wow.
So the proof there is in the action, right? I'm not just talking or investing in all these different cryptos and in the space and all this. I am putting my wealth, my hard-earned money, my sacrifice for this world into Bitcoin.
Wow. So you're literally putting your money where your mouth is, right?
Yeah, all of it. Against the advice of a lot of I know a lot of wealthy people. You know, all the wealthiest people that I know are in Bitcoin, but so far I'm the only one that's all in.
Yeah. Well, so what makes you want to have literally all of your eggs in one basket? That confidence in Bitcoin without any worries or any concerns, unless you do have
everything comes with some worry and some concerns. But I first heard about it. It was around 4 years ago, and a very wealthy guy, probably worth like hundreds of millions of dollars, that I was coaching at the time with nutrition, told me it was a scam and not to go anywhere near it. So I was spitting the same stuff that he told me about it. I was telling everyone else, like, no, it's a scam and this and that. And I'd done zero research. I was just taking this wealthy man's word as gospel. But then I was lucky enough to have another, just so happened to be very wealthy person, but another someone that I really respect and looked up to and I was very close with, told me, well, look, just put a little bit in. You don't need to buy a whole Bitcoin, or you don't need to go all in. Just buy a little bit just in case. So I really took his word, like, I really respect this guy. I'll start doing my research. And so the price at the time was around $10,000 per Bitcoin. And by the time I'd done my research, and when I say I did my research, I spent 2-3 hours a day either listening to a podcast, watching a YouTube, just reading a book, consuming all this information about Bitcoin. I don't know why I did it. I think to go a little bit deeper, I mean, I had a target of money that I wanted to make, and I knew what I was doing at the time was never going to get me there. There was a gap in my mind, and I'm a believer in energy, and for some reason, I just heard about it at that time when I needed it, so I started doing my research. And so after so much research, it's just inevitable that you come to the conclusion that the best place to park your money is in Bitcoin. And so to answer your question, it's literally just years of research and coming to my own conclusion in that I don't want to put my money anywhere else.
Right. Okay. And what period of time? You said it was around 10,000. What year do you remember that was?
It was 2021.
Right.
It was coming up into the bull market. I think it was 2021. Don't quote me exactly on that, but it was a year, 2020, 2021. I think it was 2021. I didn't actually start buying until it hit 50,000, and I put all of my money in, all my liquid in at that point, like basically all my savings. And it very quickly went from it went up to 68,000 and crashed down to 16,000 in a matter of months.
Right.
So, but I was also, that hurt, but I was also had enough experience, I had enough knowledge at that point. I was like, okay, well, here's an opportunity to buy more. So I sold I had a couple of properties, sold them, put that all in, started dollar cost averaging every day at one point. I would buy a bit of Bitcoin for years. Recently sold half of my business to a strategic investment firm. That all went in. I mean, it's literally any money I get that's extra that I don't need for an emergency fund goes in.
Yeah.
And that's my philosophy. And so far, I mean, the rule is you have to hold it for a minimum of 4 years. But if you really want to maximize the growth opportunity, it's 8 to 12 years. So a lot of people that get into Bitcoin say it changes you, and it does, because it takes 8 to 12 years. Okay, so it completely changes your mindset. We're not going for a quick win here. We're not getting rich quick. We're just simply investing over the long term, and over an 8 to 12 year period, we are massively increasing our wealth from Bitcoin. And I do believe that right now is a very unique time for the asset, because I've only been in it for about 4 years, but throughout its history, it went through so many different periods of being called different things from different people. And right now, we've just had the US ETF in January. We're having the FASB account rule changes in January coming up. Don't ask me what the hell that is, but I know that it's coming, and it changes how companies can hold Bitcoin. There's large banks that are now creating the ability for you to for them to custody your Bitcoin for you. So there's a lot of regulatory clarity that's coming to the asset now more than ever.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a very exciting time.
Yeah. Now, you talked about this long-term strategy that Bitcoin almost forces you to have, that 8 to 12 years. Did you know that going into it, that you would be holding it for that length
No.
of time? You didn't.
I thought I was getting rich quick. I thought, wow, it's at 50,000, it's going to 100,000, awesome. And it got to 68 and crashed down. So it forces you to look at things. I look at everything now, since getting into Bitcoin, I look at everything in a 10-year period. What am I doing now in order to be in a better position in 10 years? And it forces you to look at your health, your relationships, your business, your money. It literally forces upon you this 10-year thing, which, in a 10-year period, right, you can do a lot. And I think it's a famous thing that people say, like, people overestimate what they can do
In 1 year, yeah.
but underestimate what they can do in 10. And so it changes your mindset in that way.
Yeah. Okay. So just looking at when it crashed, how it tested your resolve, you bought it there. Did you, and you'd be obviously well within your rights to say, what have I done? But you thought, this has happened, I'm ready for this, but I still believe in.
Yeah, I was scared and it was nerve-wracking and it didn't feel good on the gut, right? Your natural emotion as a human when you see, let's put it into actual money terms, 750,000 dirhams, I think I'd put in at that time.
Right.
When you see that go to, I don't know, 150, 200,000 dirhams in a matter of months, you feel bad, right? That's not a good feeling. You're like, what have I done? I had all this money and now it's this much money. But I knew enough and understood about it. That this was actually a massive opportunity to buy more at a lower price. And then when you flip your mindset, when you understand what Bitcoin is and you understand the cycles and it takes 8 to 12 years, you understand that now every red day is actually an opportunity. It's not a bad thing. The dollar price has come down, but you get to stack more sats at a lower rate. You get to increase the amount of Bitcoin you own for that drop. So if you look at it like that, and I was very new to it, so it was hard mentally to kind of switch my mindset. But again, when you understand Bitcoin, there's like a thing where they say everyone that actually puts in the time to study it never goes back. And that's why it's growing so fast. There is a US president that was talking about Bitcoin on his journey. Now, he's not president yet, but he's coming in January, right? He's going to Bitcoin conferences. He's tweeting about Bitcoin. He's talking about Bitcoin. His son is on stage in Abu Dhabi saying Bitcoin is going to $1 million. Mental. 4 years ago, if you'd have said this to me, I would have been like, no way. This is impossible. Everyone's talking about it. And there's a lot of politicians that are now into it and they're trying to pass all these bills and there's all sorts going on. As Bitcoin grows, more and more people get into it because of what it is. And that's only going to proliferate.
All right, so where are we? Tested the 200, cleared some of that vector like we were talking about yesterday. I didn't take profit on that deviation though. I'm waiting for a higher one. I don't know if you guys were paying attention before, but I'm kind of looking for the 800 to come down. Right, continue its path. We need to break above this 200 and hold it. That would be our path there. So our 200 would come down like this, right? 800's coming down like that. 200 would be coming down like this. Then eventually they'd cross. So what I'm looking for price to do is to come up above our 200, break that, come back and retest it, hold, test our 800, come back into the range, and then be held in the range by the 200 until we get our false move. It's a whole lot of future tripping going on there, but that's what I'm waiting for. Just to give you like a peek behind the curtain. I'll show you my chart. It's not a teaching chart or nothing, so it looks crazy, but what I'm looking at. That's on the weekly. So I was just looking at our consolidation periods, right? 700 days before the expanse, 790 days before probably like a 2x expanse to the last one. Now we're sitting at 790. Looking at our tops, co-equal distances on the tops. But I would like to come back down and touch this 200. If I could pick copper back up in the 700s, that'd be good. So my play is basically, where are we? Just keep it simple. And the crazy thing is if this doesn't work out and it goes in the opposite direction, you got an even better trade. Because if this thing starts breaking down and coming towards support, like, you could short copper for a couple months. And where the hell is my bar tool? There we go. Basically, right? You see the inverse pattern? Right? If you just flip this section, it would be like the broadening wedge we had. But that's the move I'm looking for. Unless it's just over for copper, you know. But way too many industrial uses and shit like that. That would kind of be the line of concern for me. Cut out that deviation. Which is why I say it'd be nice to have one of those just come down real quick. Pick that up. That'd be great. Might take a while for that to play out though, but that's what I've been watching. What's going on, Chris? No, we're going sideways right now. Only reason I have this drawn out is because if we do break this 200, that's what I'm expecting. Come up, clear that. Touch the bottom of the psychological range. We're about to start setting, what time is it? We're about to start setting our new psychological ranges here. So that pull towards that range is going to be invalid soon. Yeah, so I expect them to make that one last push on Saturday. Believe at 4 o'clock is when we start setting the psychological range, 4 o'clock Eastern. So we got half an hour. Don't quote me on that. I always get that one wrong for some reason. Yeah, copper's boring, bro. People don't usually trade copper because I mean, look at this thing. You know, 700 days of sideways, another 700 days of sideways, and then you're rewarded with a damn dip after all that just to have it rip. Like this thing right here broke a lot of people's hearts in 2020. And then now, you know, it's another 800 days, 700, 800 days of sideways. So it's one of those things that, like, you know, they say time in the market beats time in the market. Like, yeah, cool, but much rather be involved in these weeks, what's coming next, instead of sitting through all that. I'm good. No, thank you. And you see how it finds, it's because of the industrial uses, it finds a ceiling, right? And it stays at that ceiling for a long time until you finally get that break. So to me, the reason I'm interested now is because, and again, this isn't a teaching chart, so it looks crazy right now. This is like what my charts look like when I don't have to show them to anybody. Yeah, no, you can definitely you could scout that for sure. But for your long-term plays, this deviation right here is this deviation right here, right? Above that range. And then you had that co-equal top followed by a 10% drop. And here we had our co-equal top. And right now we're at a 10% drop, but it dropped a little bit more than that. So I'm just front running this move. It just looks very similar on the chart, you know? And you got Titan validation, so it's worth swinging at, in my opinion, if you're comfortable trading metals. Yeah, exactly. On the monthly.